Thanks for taking time out of your Friday afternoons. If you are returning back for a second time, welcome back. And if this is your first webinar, welcome. I'm Troy Thomas, the Director of Business Development with EBSCO Ed, supporting the Alabama Talent Triad and hosting your webinar today. So with today's webinar, Building a Future, a Student's Guide to Digital Wallets and LERs, we really have kind of just one goal today, and that's really to gain a better understanding of how you can take the credentials, skills, and experiences you have in your wallet and create that skills-based resume and get connected to jobs and learning opportunities. So we are also going to do a quick recap for those who couldn't join for the first webinar. And also, if we have time at the end, I'll jump into a live demo and show you a live syncing of credentials and how that leads to job recommendations. And then as always, if you have any questions throughout, please type those in the chat and we'll try to answer those at the end. All right, so quickly, why was the Alabama Talent Triad created? It was really created to increase the skilled workforce in Alabama, or in a response to increase the skilled workforce in Alabama, really to help increase the labor force participation rate and to help build a bridge between education and workforce and really bring transparency to what students and job seekers have learned and earned, ultimately just making all learning count. And then also, the end result of the triad is ultimately to get people connected to jobs and learning opportunities based on skills matching. So there are three pieces. It is a triad. One, which we're going to focus on mostly here today, is the digital wallet and LER component for students and job seekers. There is also a skills-based job portal for employers. And then thirdly is the credential registry for all the education training providers across the state to really park their certificates, licenses, credentials, degrees, all of their great programs and unbundle those down to the skill level. And I mentioned it on the first webinar, but this is really something to get excited about. This really is a first in the nation solution, and Alabama is leading the way, which is super exciting. It's been super exciting to be part of the project, and we get calls from other states all the time, asking about the Talent Triad and how they can replicate and build something similar in their state. So what makes it different? How is it different? There's other workforce solutions out there like LinkedIn or Indeed, some smart resume solutions. Well, one, this isn't an isolated solution. It's statewide. It's for every Alabamian and every employer in the state. Two, it really creates transparency of what you have earned and learned by making skills that common denominator. Three is interoperating directly with the student information systems at your high schools, directly with PowerSchool, so it can validate your credentials, which is very different from LinkedIn and those other workforce solutions where everything is self-attested. Four is when you create a digital wallet in the Alabama Talent Triad, is you're going to be supported from the time you create it till retirement. It'll be with you for your life. And then finally, by choosing EBSCO as a partner of the state, is able to take feedback from students, from teachers, from family members, from employers, and really take those and continue to make customizations to meet the needs and goals of employers of the state, and locally. So like I mentioned on the last slide, the Alabama Talent Triad is going to be interoperating directly with the student information system at your school, so PowerSchool. And that's so you can sync your validated credentials into your wallet, which ultimately leads also to the validated skills that are associated with those. So that's the key differentiator for the Alabama Talent Triad. LERs are essentially what allow you to create those next-gen resumes that can tell the story of your educational career, your experiences, and really interpret those and see how they align to different career pathways and really help employers to better understand that. They essentially bring to life what you have learned and earned and help keep you prepared for what's next. So by having that wallet with your learning and employment records in them, you'll always and be prepared for that next step in your educational or workforce journey. I said this on the last webinar as well. I think it's a crazy statistic, but I always mention it. So it says that people who are newly entering the workforce will change jobs 12 to 16 times. So being able to articulate and tell people what you know and can do is going to become even more and more important. And knowing how your skills are transferable from industry to industry is going to just become more and more important as well. So again, a couple other benefits to students and job seekers is once you have your LERs synced, you'll be able to get those personalized recommended career pathways based on those skills and experiences. And then second is you'll also get recognition for real world experiences. So the things you guys are doing in high school, like co-ops, internships, any type of on-the-job training, just even volunteering, or some of the great programs, like as an example, the Pathways to Professional Nursing program in Birmingham. There's so many programs like that that are part of the high schools that, you know, that you're getting skills with, you're getting real world experiences, and those should be accounted for, and those should be able to match you to real careers that you can, see and be matched with. So again, opt-in letters to be able to sync your credentials, so to allow that interoperation to PowerSchool so that your personal credentials can be synced or sent home to parents on September 6th. So make sure you're advocating for your parents to get those signed and returned so that you can sync those valuable learning and employment records. This is just an example of the letter that went home. I do want to mention though, even without the letter or even without the opt-in, you can still create an account. You can still have a wallet. You can still add credentials, skills, and experiences. They will just be self-attested rather than the validated credentials and skills. So how does it work? You can go to, and I should say it's formatted for mobile, for desktop, so any type of platform that you use, you'll be able to access the Talent Triad. So alabamatalenttriad.com, or you can scan the QR code. You should see right there in the middle a sign up button. Once you click that, that'll bring you to this screen that just asks for some basic information. First name, last name, email, allows you to pick a username and password. If you already have an account, you would have just clicked login, and it'll take you to the login screen here. Once you create your account, you can then begin to add or sync those credentials. So you can see here, add credentials. It'll bring you to this screen where you can choose how you want to add credentials. So the sync being, how you're going to get those validated credentials into your wallet. That'll just be using your student ID. You can also upload. So if you have a digital badge from an online course you've created, you can upload a picture of that badge. You can insert the link if you have a link to a badge you've gotten from a course you've taken or from something you've completed. So there's many ways you can add credentials into your wallet. You can also add skills. If you are syncing validated credentials through PowerSchool or through your high school, those skills that are associated with that credential will automatically populate in your wallet, and you'll see the nice little blue or green check mark down here that says it's validated. You can also just come in and add skills from the database, things like volunteering, playing sports, being in a club. All of those have skills that are associated with them, leadership skills, communication skills. So you can also just come in and add skills from the database. And then you can also add experiences, and we'll see this live when I go over to the demo. But you can, put in any type of experiences, like I mentioned, the co-ops, the clubs, volunteering, any extracurricular activities. Those are important. You're gaining skills from those, and they should be accounted for. All right, now that you have a wallet full of credentials, skills, and experiences, you can really begin to craft that skills-based resume that kind of tells the story you want to share with the employers. You get to share, or you get to choose what you share. And maybe that's multiple different resumes, all with different stories, all with different stories. Again, you get to decide that. So to start, once you would come into Resume Builder, you would see a button that says Create Resume, and then that will bring you to this screen. So you've already created your profile at this point, so you can use that information to populate the resume header. So you could just click the button here that says Fill from Profile. You can then easily start adding the credentials, skills, and experiences to the resume just by simply clicking them, and they automatically start populating in the resume preview. You can also add any other supporting documents you may want to share, like maybe a cover letter, a recommendation letter, or maybe you have a portfolio you've created in high school that you think is important. So things like that, you can also add and upload to be part of your resume as well. So once you finish that, you would then click Publish and Share Your Resume. That information is then shared with the recommendation engine to give you those personalized recommended career pathways and learning opportunities. Also, by sharing your resume, you will not only get those job and learning recommendations, but you also have enabled the ability for employers to contact you and view your resume if they receive it as a recommended candidate. So that's another big difference between the Talent Triad and say like LinkedIn. This isn't a fishing expedition. Employers don't just come on, post a job rec, and hope that people apply. With the Talent Triad, employers are posting those skills-based job descriptions, and a match is happening based on the skills of their job, and then based on the skills that are in the job seekers' wallets. And the employers only see candidates that are recommended to them. So they can't just go out and try to find candidates. They can only see ones that are recommended to them, and then can reach out and actually establish that connection with you. They can recruit you, which is very different from some of the other platforms that are out there. Then you can come see the learning and job recommendations. So to see the job recommendations, you would want to click the resume that you want from the drop-down list. On here, you can see a CNA resume was chosen, and then the recommended jobs start to appear down below that. You can interact with the jobs. You can thumbs up, thumbs down. That's going to allow the recommendation engine to learn about what you're looking for, what types of jobs you do want to continue to get recommended to you or don't want to get recommended to you. You can bookmark jobs for later. You can also apply directly. So once you click a job, you can see more details about the job, and then you can also apply directly through the Talent Triad. There is also an auto apply feature that you can turn on, so the Talent Triad will automatically apply to jobs that are recommended to you for a particular resume of your choosing. All right, from a slide perspective, that's all I have. Here's some other training assets, links to some training assets and other support links. The trainings, I highly recommend. They're self-guided, so you can go on at your leisure on Alabama Talent Triad and take those trainings. I would highly recommend those. And there are other tools on there as well that you can use. But at this point, I'm going to stop sharing the presentation, and I am going to share So you should be able to now see my screen, which is on alabamatalenttriad.com. From here, you would choose login, or if you're newly, this is where you can click sign up. We're going to choose sign in. We have a demo account set up. All right, so you can see Sheridan Bishop has one credential in her wallet, an Alabama Digital Learner Wallet training, but we're going to go ahead and come in and add another credential here. So when you choose sync from provider, there should be a drop-down list. We're going to sync a career and technical education course from Alabama State Department of Education. So like I mentioned, you're going to need your student ID here or whatever method that the provider chooses for you to log in. So you can see we synced this certified nursing assistant certification. You can see it has the certification from the Career and Technical Education ALSDE. You can download this. That'll have a nice validated circle around the certification. You can also come in now and see the skills that populated in Sheridan's account that are associated with that certification. So measures, things like measures and records manual blood pressure, transfers from bed using a wheelchair, provides foot care on one foot, positions on site. So these are all things that were built into the credential registry that are associated with that certification. So once that certification is synced into her wallet, the skills automatically populate with that. Again, I just want to go back to add credentials. You can see there are other methods. There's the upload, embed, and link. Lots of ways you can add credentials. We can also go back to skills, and if you wanted to, you can just add skills on your own. So you could come in and do the add skills from database. We could check for something like communication. So there's lots of skills associated. So it's kind of like Google. You can type something and many other skills will populate and very easy to add those. Again, I'll show you. So if we just say, we'll just pick this one, uses appropriate signals and vehicle communications technology to communicate with other drivers. And we're going to choose add skill. So you can see all these ones that populated with the validated credential have the nice check mark. But the use appropriate signals that we just added as a communication, you can see is self-attested. So it will not be a validated skill. And then you can also come in and add experiences. So Sheridan felt like, that she had a full-time job for 11 months that, focused on a particular function. So she wanted to show that as an experience, but then you can also come in and add other experiences. All right, and then like I mentioned, once you have your wallet filled out, is when you can come in and start building the different resumes. So you can see Sheridan's resumes are kind of like a progression of her career, right? She got her CNA resume and she had a CNA resume. Maybe she went back to get a phlebotomist certification and now had a phlebotomist focused resume. And then maybe ultimately, went back to school and wanted to get a nursing degree and now wants to look for nursing jobs. So all these resumes tell a story, a particular story that Sheridan wants to tell. to employers to get matched with jobs on. And then ultimately, you can use those resumes to then get matched with jobs. So I'm going to continue with the CNA resume because that's the credential that we just synced. You would choose that resume. Let's think in here for a minute. Go. So you can see that multiple jobs that are recommended to Sheridan then populate thumbs up, thumbs down. You can bookmark jobs. You can click this job to see more information about it, the skills that are required for it, any other type of sensory requirements, and then you can apply directly. The company chooses how they want you to apply, so that could be directly on their website. So it'll take you directly to their website to apply. Again, these are all jobs that came because of the CNA resume. We could choose any of these other resumes to see recommended jobs for those as well. And soon to come is the recommended learning, which will then make recommendations to you for other learnings based on the skills and credentials that are in your wallet that can help then advance your career and potentially increase your earning power. That is all I have for today. Thank you again for joining us so late on a Friday. There are several other webinars to come. Also follow us on our socials just so you can make sure you're staying up to date with any other news and or information about the Talent Triad. I highly recommend that you sign up for a wallet. It's only going to benefit you and help you tell the story that you want to tell and get you connected with jobs and learning recommendations. So thanks again and have a great rest of your weekend.